Salvete omnes. If you'd like to support the channel along with these patrons, I'd really appreciate the support. There's a link in the description box below. Roman numerals are really simple to learn. You just add the value of each letter together, which is why most people are taught about them in elementary school. But elementary school teachers love to teach their students that the Roman numerals for 4 and 9 are written as IV and IX. But in fact, this was only done when space was a commodity, like on inscriptions, and only started being used in the Middle Ages. And it wasn't even always consistent, because on the Colosseum, 4 I's are used for 4, but XL is used for 40. There is even a gate XLIIII. When performing arithmetic, 4 and 9 are written as 4 I's and a V and 4 I's, and here's why. When we add numbers like 8 plus 3 in Roman numerals, these are VIII plus III. We just group like letters together, and if there are 5 I's, we convert them into a V. Likewise, if there are 2 V's, we convert them into an X, and we're done. The answer is 11. That took almost no thinking, we just moved the letters around. But if we add 9 plus 4 as IV plus IX, we have to either convert these first on paper or in our head, because there's no way to just combine these letters without ending up with the wrong answer, since XIIV does not equal 13, or any other combination like that. So we can see that it is much easier to add when we write 4 as 4 I's and 9 as a V and 4 I's. And you probably know the first 3 letters of the Roman numeral system really well, because they're on clocks and things. But how do we remember the rest? An easy way is to memorize the following sequence: I, X, C, and this bow tie shaped figure. We already know I and X, and the C stands for centum, which is where we got the word century. And the last character became the M and stands for mille, which is where we got the word millennium. So these are the numbers 1, 10, 100, and 1,000. Then if we divide the X in half, we get V, or 5. And if we divide the C in half, we get an L, or 50. And if we divide the last character down the middle, we get a D, or 500. So try to guess these numbers now. DLV. These are all the half numbers, so this is 555. MMCCCXX. 2,320. DCLXVI. 666. This is a good number to study because each pair is a 5 and a 1. The origins of the Roman numeral system might also help you remember which letter is which. The Roman numerals were adapted from the Etruscan number system, which was an ancient civilization in Italy which lived where Tuscany is. They used a tallying system similar to the one we use when counting, where we make 4 tally marks and then make a cross through these marks to make counting easier. However, the Etruscans made 9 tally marks and then used an X in the same way. But obviously, if you have the X, you don't really need to write the 9 I's in front of the X. In this way, it is different from the tally marks we use and could become a character in its own right, which it did. Then we can repeat the process with X's until we get 10, and we add another line to this symbol right down the middle, like this. Now it's hard to tell at a glance the difference between 8 I's and 9 I's, so they made intermediary symbols by dividing the previous characters in half. So the X became an upside-down V in the Etruscan system, which represented 5, and half of 100 became an arrow for 50. These characters have a logical progression, but it takes a few more steps to see the logic behind the Roman numerals. The 5 obviously flipped upside down to become a V, Many early number systems used their alphabet to represent numbers as well, and it appears the ancient Romans wanted to do likewise. They also flipped the 50 upside down and then flattened it to this character. This eventually became an L. The 100 had to take a slightly longer walk. In the Etruscan system, it was a character like this, an X with an I down the middle, which eventually evolved to a more curved character like this one. And then probably because the Latin word for 100 is centum, this was truncated to just a C. Now, the M wasn't added to the Roman numeral system until the Middle Ages. The Romans first used a symbol more like this. And this came from the Etruscan symbol, which was a character like an X or a plus sign inside a circle. And it's much easier to see that the D came from this than the M. One thing you probably were never taught is that there were also fractions, which were used in a similar fashion. Instead of letters, though, they used dots, and each dot represented 1/12. So 1 dot is 1/12, 2 dots is 2/12 or a sixth, 3 dots is a quarter, etc. You see, if they had used dots representing 1/10, they wouldn't have had an easy representation for the more convenient fractions like a fourth and 3/4, etc. But when we reach 6 dots or a half, we replace the dots with an S. And then we continue adding dots to the S. So an S with 3 dots is 3/4. And this letter was used because it stood for semis, which means half. The nice thing about the numbers in Latin is that they can help you learn numbers in other Romance languages, since they are all very similar, as we can see in this table. But there's something weird about the numbers beyond 10 in Latin that didn't carry over to the other Romance languages. 11 through 17 are just the numbers plus 10, so it's undecim, duodecim, tridecim, quattordecim, quindecim, seizdecim, septendecim. But then the numbers take a strange turn and we have duodeviginti, undeviginti, viginti. Do you see it? 18 and 19 are like saying 2 from 20 and 1 from 20. And the numbers continue this way all the way up to 100. But the alternative way of just saying 810 and 910 was also used and continued on in the Romance languages. So it seems like the ancient Romans liked this subtractive counting method more than their ancestors did. Okay, I hope you learned something new about Roman numerals. See you next time. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share, and if you can, help support the channel on Patreon, where there are audio downloads and transcripts of each dialogue and story. Gratias!